Yeah, away we go on a Wednesday, chaotic Wednesday at that. It's Mr. Relevant. I'm Alex Strouf with you from the Gruber Law Offices, one call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. Joshy DiMaggio's here, I think. Like, physically, he's here. Mentally, I don't know if he's here. He tried to do a walkout about 60 seconds before the program began, and then he walked back in. I'm not really sure who pissed in his Cheerios today, but Joshy not happy to see me. Joshy, what's going on, man? What's happening today?
I feel great. You're just you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I am me. That's an accurate statement. What's that supposed to mean?
That's my problem. You being you.
What did I do to you?
Nothing in specific. It's your general demeanor. Hunter understands it.
My general demeanor?
Yeah, I do get it.
Yeah, Tidy Heads Hunter Vaughn back at the Everlight Solar Studio. Okay, Hunter, are you mad at me? Because ever since I got here today, I walked in, as I always do in the morning. I say hello to Joshy. I grab some of the, we print out papers, essentially, we need throughout the day that we need to mark and yada, yada. So I pop in to grab my papers for the day, and Joshy's like, yeah, I don't want to talk to you. It's like, okay, sounds good, dude. Then I left, and then I came back down about 11:30 just to update on what we're doing on the show. And he said, I hate it. That was about our correspondence today. So I don't know if I did something to him or what, but anyway.
I was just saying, I'm not mad at you. I'm good. I don't know why Josh doesn't like this. I mean, we're gonna have a little fun today. I'm excited for it.
We're gonna have a little fun. It's so much fun that I've pulled in a fourth person. Part-time Will Sommers is here. Will, are you mad at me?
No, I'm not mad at you. I appreciate you for pulling me in.
All right. Here we go. A little ass kissing, Joshy. You like hearing that?
It's fine.
I prefer to use the term energy.
Yeah, I do too. All right, so what we're doing today, Joshy, how would you describe what we're doing today? Fun,
unnecessary.
Different? Okay, unnecessary. Why unnecessary?
Because radio shows have been done now for the better part of, I don't know, 100 years.
Yeah, but this is a podcast.
We are more than just a podcast.
Oh, okay, you're right. Yes, correct. I agree.
Hunter puts in hard work on that YouTube.
He does. Yeah.
Respect him.
I do respect him. What are you doing? Something's up with you today.
I was going to say, don't start saying that I'm like upset or not being respected. I'm good. I am more than okay.
Yeah. Everybody's happy except you. You're the only one who's not happy.
I'm fine.
Will, is Joshy a little on edge today?
I wouldn't say on edge. He's a little gloomier than he usually is, I would put it.
Will and I have had a perfectly normal day.
Yeah.
The only addition here that makes things weird, sitting across from me.
I didn't do anything.
Yeah, as I said, it's just you and your demeanor.
All right, so what we're going to do today, now, I also realized right as we started the show, okay, we're gonna spin a wheel. I have a wheel here, right? So you can hear it. Yep, it's a wheel. We're going to do the wheel of quotes. So a lot of things have been said in the last 48 hours in regards to Wisconsin sports.
Here's some questions quick.
Oh, jeez.
Does each color have an assigned quote?
Well, that's what I was about to get to, is I didn't grab a dry erase marker, so I didn't write anything on the wheel.
Okay, now I'm mad at you.
Right now.
Now I'm mad.
So
you went to get
5
lunch.
Colors.
Hang on.
Hold on.
No. You went to go get lunch instead of doing your part of this. I told you go get the wheel, write names on the wheel, and you chose to go get lunch. Now we have a problem.
I got a marker. All right.
I wish it was a Sharpie so bad.
I mean, be worth it. All right, so I was just going to assign colors, but then I realized we have different number of colors.
Also, part of the wheel is the fact that there could be things left off of the list.
Marker doesn't work.
Of course.
There was like a bunch of markers because I see 3 more.
I don't think it works for dry erase. Is the issue I'm running into. All right, we're just gonna coordinate colors with the associated quotes. So we have 4 quotes. We have Mark Attanasio, the owner of the Brewers. We have Joey Bosa, not his quote, but about Joey Bosa, the Los Angeles Chargers.
So breaking the rules.
So blue is going to be the Brewers. Purple is going to be the Chargers. green is going to be the Packers, yellow is going to be the Phoenix, and red is going to be Joshy gets to say anything he wants that's negative about me.
Is there the real interest here? Is it we can only spin it? How many options do we have?
We have 4.
Well, okay, 4 options.
So that means we only need to spin it 3 times.
Right. Something has to be left off. Something has to not make the cut for there to be any intrigue here. Otherwise, we're just spinning a wheel for the mere fact of spinning a wheel. There needs to be something to the wheel.
Okay, red is going to be Josh gets to physically.
And nope, I'm not doing that.
Okay. Josh gets to. Would you like to throw ice at me again? We did that once. Okay.
I don't need anything here. It's just.
I just want you to be happy and participate. That's all I want.
One of them is just lose a turn.
Okay, red is lose a turn.
Yeah.
All right, let's spin the quote wheel.
Wait,
Will
what
is gonna be our
turn
quote
though?
reader.
Now I'm even more confused.
That we won't get to one of the subjects then. If it lands, if something gets cut off.
All right, red is lose a turn. Blue is Brewers. Purple is Chargers. Yellow is Phoenix. Green is Packers. Let's spin the quote wheel, Josh. You ready? Will, you ready?
Let's do it.
Hunter, you ready?
I am.
What's the question?
What's the integrity of this wheel? How is it going to work?
It's an inanimate
like
object.
that?
What do you mean? What's the integrity?
How's it going to work with the spin?
Let's find out. Here's the spin. What do we got, Joshy? Come on.
Spinning.
The spinning.
Yellow.
Yellow.
Do you remember what yellow was?
That's Doug Gottlieb. It's Doug Gottlieb. Will, read the quote.
What a way to lead the show.
Actually, hold on. I got to set this up. So, Doug Gottlieb, obviously loser of 21 in a row. They won on Sunday against Wright State. Previously said that Bronny James could not play on the Green Bay Phoenix. LeBron now over the weekend called Doug Gottlieb a clown on Twitter. Doug Gottlieb responding on Monday on his radio show saying this.
Me talking trash to LeBron would technically be punching up. And him, it's punching down. So I don't know. I guess pettiness and insecurity aren't limited to just people who aren't super successful in their field. I guess that would be my response.
Dynamite stuff from Doug Gottlieb. So pettiness is not only... Now, I feel like we got to get philosophical for a second, which is why I'm glad Josh is here. Pettiness is not only for those that are not great in their field. There's a lot of double negatives going on. So he's saying in order to be petty, you don't have to not be great. In order to be petty, you're supposed to not be great. Great people shouldn't be petty. That's what he's saying, right, Joshy? Is that what how you're reading into this?
That's the way I took it.
Okay. So, is he allowed to be petty then as a basketball coach who's 3-24?
He should be the most petty man on earth if that's the things we're going by here. But he's also massively successful in terms of radio broadcaster.
Right.
He has his own syndicated show.
So
that he traveled to New Orleans with during the middle of the college basketball season.
So a couple things I disagree with here, though. Is Doug Gottlieb as a national radio host punching up by saying Bronny couldn't play at Green Bay? I would say that's punching down. He's talking about a 19-year-old kid.
Yeah, it's hard to decipher because the kid's also a billionaire. I mean, he's not technically, but he will eventually be a billionaire because of his father.
Are you talking about the death of LeBron right now?
No, I'm just saying, he doesn't have $1 billion.
That was an inheritance comment.
Yeah,
that you just made.
You know, you can give people money without them dying. That's part of life.
Yeah, but I don't know that I've ever been handed $1 billion before. Well, actually, I do know that. I've never been.
How many people do you know that have access to $1 billion?
Personally or overall?
Personally. 0. The answer is 0. You've got no billionaires in the Rolodex.
You don't know that.
I do know that.
Strouf, you'd be living
Probably
a very
not.
different life if you knew any billionaires.
I've got millionaires in the Rolodex.
Yeah, of course.
Multi-millionaires.
Yeah.
I think all 3 of us have one.
Hold on, I got a stupid question. Might not be that stupid. Is Greg Karmazin a billionaire?
Ah, Jesus.
Well, that's who Hunter was referring to.
For
He's
the
a
millionaire.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, come on.
So I guess I just wanted to decipher, is this truly punching down by LeBron when somebody takes a personal shot at your son? Because Bronny, by no means was he like a great college basketball player. But he could crack it at Green Bay. They're 3-24.
he'd probably be one of Green Bay's best players.
Correct.
Yeah.
So LeBron being petty and hanging on to this comment that Doug Gottlieb made prior to the college basketball season, kind of funny, kind of respected by LeBron.
It's just weird for Doug himself to call himself punching down. What you want is LeBron to be taking shots at you. That means you've made it. That's a good thing.
You've certainly you've certainly made it in his brain, which is
right.
A sign of a good thing, I think.
Right. LeBron is talking about your college program. LeBron's never talked about Green Bay and never will again. So to say it's like punching down, I don't really understand what he means by that. And yeah, a father's going to defend his son. As much as I don't like the whole Bronny Braun situation.
Well, yeah, nepotism in sports is a whole different conversation.
Yeah, it's also I understand why he would take it personally and then respond.
Months later.
You also, if you're going to be Doug Gottlieb and make comments like that, you got to be better than 3-24.
You do. That's
just...
It's as simple as that with Doug Gottlieb.
Right. You asked for it. No one told you had to do your radio show and be a coach.
I mean...
I wonder if he'll do both next year, because he'll be back. We've talked about that a little bit.
He ain't turning down the money.
Yeah. I mean, he's not getting paid a ton as a head coach.
No, that's what I'm saying. He's not going to give up his radio gig, which
I
is
agree.
most money.
Yeah, we'll see.
Also, I mean, if LeBron's talking about me at all, I feel like I've kind of made it in life. To get into LeBron's headspace, I would have made it.
Punch
that
down,
might be a
punch
life
up,
goal
it don't
for
matter.
me. Yeah.
Yeah. My life goal is to end up on one of those videos at the end of the season after a team does well, and then they try and shove it in everyone's face as the hater.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I want my voice to be one of the haters.
All right, be
awesome.
the voice and the hater of Doug Gottlieb and Green Bay basketball, who, according to Doug on Sunday Karma a few weeks ago, nobody wants to see in March. Joshy DiMaggio gets the final word on the yellow color on the wheel.
You suck, and I look forward to you not having a job.
Wow. He'll at least have one job.
Yeah,
Maybe,
coaching job.
Maybe not two. All right, there we go. Let's spin the wheel. All right, we've got green, blue, purple, and red left. Red is lose a turn.
One subject just gets axed.
I really hope we don't get red. I don't want Josh to feel validated here. Barely.
You got lucky.
It's blue, which is the quote of the day for sure. It is the quote of the day from Brewers owner Mark Attanasio down at spring training in Arizona. Kind of rhetorical, but says this yesterday, Will.
He said, "Is it my job to win a World Series, or is it my job to provide a summer of entertainment and passion and a way for families to come together?"
All right. So
Friends we made along the way.
it's about the journey. It's not about winning a World Series. Now, as great of a job as Will is doing reading, I think this is the one where we actually need to hear it. So let's listen to the actual audio. Hey, don't hum me. Are you mad Will's hanging out with us?
No, it just seems like it's a bit of a redundancy.
I think this one specifically is important. So let's listen to Mark Attanasio, because I think it's worse when it's bad when Will reads it. I think it's worse when you hear it from Mark Attanasio. Let's hear Mark Attanasio yesterday in Arizona.
One of the questions, what's your job? Forget about calling yourself, if you're the steward of baseball here. Is my job to win a World Series? Now it's going to, everybody say, oh, he doesn't think he has to win a World Series. But is my job to win a World Series? Is my job to provide a summer of entertainment and passion and a way for families to come together?
That sounds like he definitely believes it's more the latter than the former. As the owner of the team who needs to open the pocketbook and has been heavily criticized for years about not opening said pocketbook, he believes he needs to put a good product on the field. He does not believe he needs to put a great product on the field, is what I took from that. He wants to have a team that competes, a team that's in the running, and a team that creates memories for me and Joshy and Will and Hunter's families. That's how I took it. Joshy?
What to juxtapose those two sentiments, winning a World Series or
Creating
providing
memories,
passion and experiences for families, what he's telling you is he views the Milwaukee Brewers as an entity to make money and to get fans into a stadium and to end up in the black at the end of the year when it comes to the accounting. What he's telling you is winning is merely it's an added factor to what he's trying to do. Winning is certainly a desired outcome, but it is not what's being searched for. The World Series is something to Mark Attanasio that would be a good add-on and a good way to make more money. But as long as he's appearing in playoffs every so often, adding a little bit to the ledger book with ticket sales, merch sales, all that sort of stuff, that's what's most important to him. It is to place those things as somehow mutually exclusive is what's wrong with kind of sports in a whole, because none of us here go to games or support any of the teams in Wisconsin because we hope the owner makes a lot of money. We go there because we want our teams to win and to excel and achieve at the highest point.
Bingo.
We want to believe at every moment everybody, top to bottom of the franchise, is doing all they can to bring home championships, because that is the point of playing sports.
Bingo.
We all understand the economics factor in. It's just how it works. It is, at the end of the day, it is still a business. But many businesses make a lot of money while also winning championships. They also sometimes take a loss. Now, that might sound crazy, but what you do sometimes when push comes to shove, you go into the red. And the Milwaukee Bucks are fine doing it. Mm-hmm. The Packers aren't as good at it. They like their money. We know that about them. It gives every single person who's ever said, what's the point of being a Brewers fan? Because they don't care about championships, gives them ammo. And that's what you don't want to do. You don't need to say those things out loud. I understand. I'm smart enough. I've followed the Brewers long enough.
Right.
I know Mark cares more about making money than he does about winning championships.
Correct.
I don't need you to say that out loud.
Yes. And to your point, Seth on the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube chat says, I am sick of people, and I hear where he's coming from on this. I just want to address it quick. I'm sick of people complaining about the Brewers spending money. They are 30th in market size, yet always somewhere between the 15 and 18 spot in terms of record. They're constantly competitive for the past decade. I would rather that the Brewers go all in for 2 years, not win it all, than be terrible for a decade, or not go all in for 2 years, not win it all, and then not be terrible for. Okay, so I hear you, Seth. Here's the thing. Nobody is asking him to do what the Dodgers and the Yankees are doing. Nobody's asking that. But they are asking him to maybe open the pocketbook. Like, think about the big moves the Brewers have made in the last, let's just say 5 years, right? Let's go post-Yelich trade. They have moved on from Josh Hader.
Yes.
They have moved on from Devin Williams.
Yes.
They have moved on from Corbin Burns. You saw Willie Adames walk this offseason. Your best players are leaving, and there isn't a real attempt at keeping them. Multiple of those, in fact, are trades. Don't forget about the arbitration debacle we went through with Corbin Burns, where it was what, $100,000 or $200,000, and the Brewers brought him to arbitration because they didn't want to pay, which, in terms of Major League Baseball contracts, a pretty small chunk of change. They are habitually cheap. Right? Christian Yelich is great, and they paid him his money. He makes a pretty good living. He makes about $22 million a year. But that isn't going to get you to a World Series. Now, can they be competitive still? Absolutely. This is a good young team. Their farm system has been blessed the last half decade or so, where they can develop talent, bring them up, and immediately compete. Think about the young guns that provided last year, right? My guy Salvatore, Bryce Terang. Obviously, a guy that's looking like he could be the best player in baseball at some point, in Jackson Chourio. You've got good talent, but can you keep it? Right? The credit we can give is Jackson Chourio's on an unbelievable contract and will be a Brewer for the long time foreseeable future. But to be habitually cheap, and I get they are the smallest market in baseball. Again, I'm not asking them to be the Yankees or Dodgers. I'm just asking them to be in the mix, and maybe, hey, a splash signing here or there every couple of years probably wouldn't hurt your win-loss record in a 162-game season.
Are you familiar with the term Stockholm Syndrome?
I am.
Fans like Seth remind me of that. Now, what I'm saying here is you've been so conditioned that losing all your best players is somehow good to you because it makes you feel nice that the guys are trying. Like, how long? Why? You mean the Brewers are totally incapable of retaining any of their talent? That's okay. You view that as, yeah, that's fine. We'll do that. They lost Devin Williams and Willie Adames and added nobody.
Nobody.
Their payroll is decreasing.
No, I mean,
They're paying less year over year. Like, what is that about you? And I know it's your favorite team. It is my favorite baseball team as well. But you can accept on one fact, yes, they've had more success than we've really ever seen. But they're unwilling to do what it takes to win at a big level. How many $100 million contracts have they given out?
I believe that number is 0, Josh.
That's okay to you? You're going to accept it. Yep. We're gonna have bites at the apple. It's all BS. They're selling you BS. When they tell you they're losing money, they're not. They're not losing money. It's not how this goes. You can cook your books to make it look that way. You don't have to be a top spender. No one's asking you to be. We do expect you to, when you have the pieces, the Corbin Burns, the Devin Williams, the Willie Adameses, to go out and make a damn run at it. If you lose $30 million for 3 years, you're not going to be behind the 8 ball. There's a way to do both things. You don't have to pretend, and I know it feels nice. Yeah, well, everyone else is out to get us. The Dodgers are cheating. They can spend way more. Go win damn games. I don't give a crap. I don't care what you have to say about the books. Stop telling me about your TV contract. It doesn't matter. I want to win World Series. That's what I want.
Stop telling me about your TV contract. Yeah, you're right. I think you nailed it. And at the end of the day, this team hopefully will compete this year.
I'm sure they will, because they do.
They always do.
Yes.
But
I'm tired of winning in the margins.
But this guy isn't helping.
No.
And it's not news. But when you read a quote like this, or hear the quote like this from either Will or Mark Attanasio, whichever version you hear, not good, right? That it goes back to what Joshy led with, is people have complained for years and years and years about how cheap this individual is, and what this does is give them more ammo, right? I just said, I think they're going to be good this year. I think they're going to compete. They will likely be a playoff team or will be in the mix at the very end of the season. But what if they're not? What do you think is going to get tweeted and commented and set at the ballpark in July, August, and September if you are a bottom feeder? This will be said.
This state and this city shows up to the tune of more than 2.5 million people every single year to go to those games.
Without fail.
There is a diehard desire for winning at the highest level, and we're repaid by every good player that comes here moving along. And you send off Devin Williams for freaking Nestor Cortez. That's what I'm supposed to get excited about? Like, the starting pitching at one point was Freddie Peralta, Brandon Woodruff, and Corbin Burns. And it was like, the Brewers have never had this before. They have a real opportunity here to strike something, to go out and do enough to get over the hump. And they stand pat, and they offer guys like Jesus Aguilar contracts, and then they leave positions subpar. And the team overperforms almost every single year. And then when it comes to big boy time, they lose because they're not as good as everyone else. Yeah. And that's a simple matter of fact. You can beat teams like the Dodgers by spending 1/10 as much as they do.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you continue to cut costs at every single turn, we're just stuck. We're just okay. This is it.
Just looking at active, I'm on Spotrac, so active 26-man roster payroll, right? New York Mets, $320 million. Dodgers, $311 million. Phillies, $278 million. Yankees, $258 million. Blue Jays, $231 million. And then the Rangers and Braves are the other two. So that's 7 teams in total, over $200 million. The Brewers rank 23rd in that list at $91 million. So nearing that $100 million mark. Behind them, the Guardians by about $10 million, who are a very good baseball team. And comparable market size, right? Like that would be the American League comparison in my eyes of the Brewers, would be the Cleveland Guardians. Two small market teams that don't spend a ton, very homegrown approach, and are winning. But after that, it's teams that aren't good, right? The Pirates, the Rays, the Nationals, the A's, the White Sox, who are horrible, the Marlins, who are horrible. Those are not the teams you want to be in consideration with. When you look above the Brewers, the Twins are spending $65 million more and are bad than the Brewers are. So money does not necessarily equal wins when you're homegrown the way the Brewers are. And I will give them credit. Their farm system has turned out. But when do they ever make a run? And I get it. It's not necessarily a destination for big money free agents, right? You're not going to sign Shohei Ohtani. I understand that. But can you get a guy or two every couple of years who will either, solidify your rotation or be your stud closer, given that you've traded two of the best in baseball the last couple of years? Shortstop, big bugaboo. Right, that was the other thing Mark Attanasio talked a ton about yesterday. Who's going to play shortstop? You just mentioned it. Who'd they sign for Willy Adames to replace him?
No one.
Correct. Who'd they get in return for Devin Williams, despite the fact that his Brewers tenure ended on a sad note? One of the best arms in baseball. You got Nestor Cortez. Does that move the needle? I don't know. Hopefully it does, but I can't say right now it does. That's that. All right. Gave them ammo is what he did. Well, well done, Joshy.
Hope he has fun with the soccer team, though.
Yeah, what's the name of the soccer team again? It's Norwich City, right?
Sure.
Norwich
Might be
City?
getting
Norwich or
promoted up
Norwich?
to the Premier League.
Oh, are they good?
I mean, they're
Maybe
good
make a
for
few
the
more dollars.
They're good for the second league. They had been Premier League. They got relegated, and I think they're about to go back up now. So he's spending money there, and they're winning. It's crazy. It's like if you spend money and get good players, you suddenly do well. Also, you guys never talked about the fact that he tried to hold the state hostage by saying, oh, well, I don't know if we could stay if we don't get this state money.
That's
now
right.
everybody else has to pay money for their stadium, but heaven forbid he pays any money for his team. Oh, man, that's just the worst thing. Even though my best memories of Brewer baseball are playoff wins, I'm not mad at all. Not mad at all.
No, nobody is. You're right on that. Well said.
It's also, if you're mad at Craig Counsell, and I knew this at the time, this is why he left.
Oh, yeah.
This is why he went to the hated rival down south.
Because
he has an organization that's not committed to winning at the highest levels. It's that plain and simple.
Chicago over $100 million more
in
that category.
Strangely enough, Chicago isn't spending as much money as they should be either.
No, they're
which
not,
is kind of
but
weird for him. But
they're still very high on that list.
When push comes to shove, the reason the homegrown guy that everyone fell in love with, and we all love Pat Murphy here. Let's be quite clear on that. He's very good. The reason you lost that guy is because you are unwilling to pay.
You got it. All right, we've got two Packers topics allegedly in the hopper, but we also have the what do we call it? Lose a turn.
Yep,
I'm
rooting for it.
I know you are. All right, let's spin this wheel. The wheel of quotes in Wisconsin sports. Spin number 3. Here we go. We are looking for green or purple. Hopefully not red. Purple it is.
I can't believe we haven't even got repeats either.
I mean, I told you this is a great idea. Why do you doubt me?
The universe, it's on our side, Strouf.
Joshy's a hater, man. All right, so this came across today from ESPN's Dan Graziano when writing a column on the Los Angeles Chargers in their offseason. The pondered thought is, Joey Bosa at defensive end, pretty expensive, and been a guy who's kind of had an up-and-down ride with the Chargers with injuries. Played 14 games last year, relatively healthy. Here's what Dan Graziano said in his column with Will Sommers.
He said on Joey Bosa, the people I talk to think cutting him is the likely outcome, but they thought the same thing last year.
Yeah, and they ultimately reached a renegotiation last year, but it seems more likely this year. Now, a couple of notes on the Chargers. The Khalil Mack name is one we've brought up before. He will be a free agent. This is the opportunity to completely overhaul their defensive line. I imagine this is probably the approach they take, right? Get out of some of that money. A guy that can't stay on the field for a full season. This is a name that's intriguing to me. 29 will turn 30 in July, right before training camp begins. And he's been productive when he's been on the field, Joey Bosa has. Maybe not as productive as his brother, but he's a good edge rusher. And if he hits the open market, he won't be crazy expensive. He'll be expensive, but he won't be crazy expensive. Is Joey Bosa a name, if maybe the Max Crosby trade or the Myles Garrett trade don't make sense for the Packers, a team that historically doesn't make a lot of trades? Is Joey Bosa a name where we would go, okay, at least they're taking a crack at it. At least they're taking a swing at it. I'm not fully for it, but Joshy, you had the line before the show, and I will give you the floor. I don't know that the Packers are in a position where they can't be for it, right? Where they can't look into it. It kind of feels like a necessity given the weaknesses they have at edge rusher. So Joey Bosa, if he does hit the open market, which Dan Graziano and some other sources have come out and said this looks like a likely option for the Chargers, this seems like a move that could make sense for the Packers depending on the price point. Again, it's not super sexy that he hasn't played a full season in like 5 years, but mostly healthy last year, played 14 games, played in the postseason, was semi-productive, didn't have his best season. Let's just put it that way. But it's a name. It's a good athlete. It's a good edge rusher. It would certainly pack a punch in a room that desperately needs it.
It would be, to me, slightly more than a shoulder shrug of a signing. But push comes to shove, the Packers would be a better edge rushing unit with Joey Bosa. It's just how much better, and would it matter in terms of reaching the ultimate goal and trying to really improve that point? He's probably somewhere close to the Khalil Mack to me, where it's, yeah, you probably got better. They're both clearly on the backside of their career. I don't know which one is even the better option, even though Khalil Mack is older. Joey Bosa has had a very hard time staying healthy for a long time, but he's also has more double-digit sacks than Rashawn Gary's ever dreamt of. So at some point, you are improving. I would put him on line with Khalil Mack and behind every other option I've heard us talk about.
I would too. Now, on that though, and we talked about this a little bit on Monday's show. If you missed that, you can find it ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Madison on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Search Mr. Irrelevant. First result that'll pop up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Appreciate the support on that. We talked about this a little bit on Monday. I think obviously it's the offseason. We're Packers fans, the two of us, Joshy. We want to see this team improve and preferably drastically improve this offseason, right? I mean, we'd love that. How realistic is it, though, that this team goes out and makes a bonkers trade, right? A Max Crosby and Myles Garrett level trade? I think it's pretty unlikely. It's just not their MO. It's something they don't typically do. With both of these guys, there's going to have to be a pretty not short-term commitment, right? Like, you're going to need to look at a new contract for both of those guys. I just think it's unlikely they go the trade route. I just do at this point. And I hope I'm wrong, right? If the Packers are to get a bona fide Hall of Famer in Myles Garrett, we're all over the moon. That'd be the biggest swing. I would legitimately say if Brian Gutekunst was to trade for Myles Garrett, it would be a bigger swing than drafting Jordan Love in the first round of the 2020 draft. It would be the biggest swing of his career as the general manager of the Green Bay Packers. And I'd respect the hell out of it. But do I think that is likely to happen? No, I do not. So then you have to start looking, okay, who's on the open market? Hunter's mentioned the guy whose name I can't pronounce from the Cowboys. We've thrown around Odigizua, yes. Osa Odigizua?
Yep.
You've mentioned him before, Hunter. We've talked about Khalil Mack. We've talked about some of the names that'll hit the open market. Joey Bosa seems like one that would, A, get a lot of interest from a lot of teams in the National Football League, but B, make a lot of sense for Green Bay, despite the fact he will be turning 30 and has struggled with some injury issues. But this is a group that needs to be upgraded. And it's not going to happen internally. You're not just going to all of a sudden see it click for Lucas Van Ness, I don't think. While I'm not writing him off, I just don't think he's going to become a Trey Hendrickson, Max Crosby, Myles Garrett type guy. Joey Bosa could come in and make an immediate impact. That's intriguing to me.
What I don't like is the idea that the Packers are less likely than, say, the Commanders or the Eagles or any of those teams, just because that's not what they've traditionally done. I think there's a lot of factors. Obviously, we have history to go off of, but Brian Gutekunst has given away more contracts than I think any of us would ever have imagined to free agents or guys that he signed like from practice squads. I think operating from we don't typically do this, so we're no longer going to do that, is sort of the wrong way to approach team building as a whole. And you're leaving avenues of getting better and becoming true Super Bowl contenders on the table simply because we don't like to do this or we don't typically do this. I think it would be worthy of criticism for, now we're not going to know the full details when some of these trades happen, if they even do. Some of them might not, like Myles Garrett might be a Cleveland Brown, I think 2025. I think
probably.
And Max Crosby might not go anywhere. But if those guys end up moving, and it's what happens every single time when these trades happen, you go, really? That's it? Like, what about the Packers right now makes you think, oh, they need to use all those picks and they need more depth? There's nothing there. There's no place you're looking and you're like, you need a whole retooled safety room.
You don't.
You need a whole retooled linebacker room.
To your point, that's what you needed last year.
Right.
And they did it, and it seems like they hit.
And the
right?
years previous, wide receiver, tight end.
Sure. But it seems like most of those have been a hit, right? Obviously, we still would like a number one receiver, but the young receivers are good.
Yes.
They just haven't taken that step to be really good or great.
There is no we need bodies situation.
Yeah. Offensive line, but I mean, the Packers.
Yeah, everybody wants a 6 offensive line.
Right, exactly. But the Packers notably very good at drafting linemen in middle rounds.
Right. You have 4 to 5 guys that are under contract that you would feel pretty damn good about, and then you work within the margins and try to find maybe someone gets better who's already there, or you draft and somebody surprises you. There is no reason why the roster as it's currently constructed would require all of its picks if you were able to add an all-pro level player. And to me, I think we would have a good reason to be very upset if one of those guys moves for an affordable price to the Packers.
Yeah. Hunter's asked, I read this from Roberto in the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube chat. By the way, Hunter mixing it up in the YouTube comments today. Love to see it. Hunter's so fired up about the Brewers. He's just chatting away.
Yeah, Seth and I are having a good conversation about whether or not it's worth it to go all in. It's great. Having a good time with Seth.
I love it. Roberto on the edge rusher conversation. Who says no to Jaire, Lucas Van Ness, Rasheed Walker, and a 4th-round pick for Trey Hendrickson and a 7th-round pick? I mean, that is a wild trade. He's been on the trade machine. I probably say no. I don't think I want to give up Rasheed Walker yet. Now, is he a long-term solution at left tackle? Probably not. He's going into a contract here. But I don't know if I want to give up if you were to acquire Trey Hendrickson, you're probably 3rd or 4th defensive end. I mean, 2nd as it stands right now in Lucas Van Ness. Jaire, I'm fine getting rid of. I just don't know if he's a real pot sweetener for a potential trade. It's an interesting thought, Roberto. It's just a little much. 3 players for one.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It just won't happen.
If you're trading any of those guys, you want draft picks because you're building.
Right. And a 7th ain't going to do much for you.
There's no, if you wanted to talk me into one of the receivers being a piece people are interested in on top of picks.
Romeo Doubs.
Have at him.
He's the one who's the most intriguing.
I mean, I would part with Dontavian Wicks as much as I have a
wow, that's your guy.
With him. Hey, if you're a piece that's going to get me all-pro or future Hall of Famer, you can go grow somewhere else, and I wish you the best of luck.
Yep. Good luck.
Yeah.
We wish you well on your future endeavors.
Yeah. No ill will.
All right, we are rooting for green, Will.
Green, 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 green.
Joshy?
Red, baby.
I think I'm rooting for anything else. Hunter, where are you at? I mean, I want green. But I want the game to work.
Is one of these still Josh gets to talk about whatever he wants? Because I would kind of love that.
I don't know that Joshy's got anything in the holster is the issue.
Yeah.
I think if it lands on green, we should go play the lottery today. Like, no repeats, no reds.
That's true. All right, here we go. The final spin, allegedly. Might need to spin it a second time if it lands on purple. The wheel of quotes. related to Wisconsin sports. Here's the spin. Give me green, baby. Give me green or give me death. Oh, it's yellow again.
Oh.
All right, let's try again. Spin 2. Can't talk about Gottlieb again. I mean, we could, I guess. But here's the spin. Give me green. All right, no lottery being played. Almost got green. Should we just cheat? There you go.
One more spin. One more
you-
spin, and then
you
we're
have to,
done.
you have to spin until it lands. And it's got to be red or green.
The middle of the wheel is hypnotizing me right now.
Yeah, that's a wicked design. It's like one of those hypnotist machines.
Keep
Oh,
spinning.
come on,
Keep going.
man.
Just keep spinning it.
This is why we broke out the wheel, just so Strouf could hold. It's kind of heavy. I'm not going to lie to you.
I think you're just soft.
Keep it going.
Purple again. All right. I hurt my wrist sleeping last night. I got to switch wrists.
Oh, poor thing.
I don't know. My wrist has been really sore all day.
Oh,
Got green,
No,
baby.
you didn't.
No, it's not. It's on purple.
Oh, no. Spin it again. Come on, wheel. Give me green, baby.
This is red. No. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
No, it's blue.
No, you just moved
it was on.
I didn't
It was on
touch
red. You moved it. We
What
all
was our
saw it.
last topic?
Jaire Alexander.
That's too bad.
The long and short of it is,
Well,
oh, I can't do it at all? Okay.
gotta move on to the next thing.
All right, Will, you got any thoughts?
Josh just cut me short. It's okay, though. It's okay, though. I'll get over it.
That's all right. We'll talk about it on Friday with Jaire Alexander. I mean, we all know what's going to happen there, right? He's going to get cut.
Move on.
Yep. Oh, you're telling me to move on the topic or
Yep.
move on from Jaire?
Yep, move on to the topic.
All right, well, it's Wednesday. Every Wednesday we play a game called One Word Wednesday. Will and Josh have catered a list of words that are banned. No.
I don't got
He looked at me like
Josh was
you can start
shook.
throwing topics at me. No, I mean, I can't say sexy. I can't say intriguing. I can't say interesting. You guys will just have to chime in if I say a word that's banned, all right? That work? All right, here we go. Hunter's got a list of topics. I respond with one word. Maybe I'll elaborate a little bit on some things going on in the world. Could be sports, could be pop culture, could be any of the in-betweens. Hunter, take it away.
We're going to start off in the NFL. ESPN.com has the top 50 free agents and where they might land. Number 9 of the top 50, Khalil Mack to the Packers.
So, I mean, it goes back to the conversation we were having before. It's a swing. It's a small swing. You're swinging for a double rather than a home run. I don't hate it, right? I would like this to be a short-term deal. My word would be okay. Okay. Sure. I respect it. So, it's very, very down the middle. My word is okay.
On that same list, your guy, DJ Reed, is at number 4, going to the New England Patriots.
Vrabel is my word. I mean, think about that defensive backfield, man, with a defensive-minded head coach. Christian Gonzalez, who is one of the best up-and-coming corners in the league, with DJ Reed, who is my free agency crush. Number 4 on this list is surprising to me, but my word is Vrabel. I think he's going to have a fast rebuild in New England.
Creed and Nickelback will be co-headlining the Summer of 99 and Beyond Festival at Alpine Valley, July 18th and 19th.
The best part of this is Joshy is half listening, and he just started shaking his head. Is your word yuck? This feels like the anti-Josh concert.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
My word is the most famous word Creed has ever sang. Higher, can you take me higher?
You guys
Love that
Scott
song.
Stapp suck.
Scott Stapp's got a great voice.
No.
Greatest halftime show of any football game ever was the Cowboys
Yes,
Thanksgiving one.
Fully agree. 100% agree with this. 2001, 2002, down in Dallas.
Yeah.
Amazing halftime show by Creed. I'm with Hunter on this one. Great halftime show.
Let's be honest here. Nobody remembers that if it's not for the guy on the flying ribbon.
Yeah, it
guess
was
what?
great.
It had
Guess-
nothing
hey,
to do with the music.
But Joshy, do people remember Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake if it wasn't for a nipple? No.
I would argue that they would be a lot more remembered regardless.
Bad take by you. All right. I will not be attending this, but My word's higher. Kind of fun for a certain demographic. Doesn't really intrigue me. I'm not a Nickelback guy, to be honest with you. I think they're more disrespected than they should be, but just not a big Nickelback guy.
Butt rock.
Excuse me?
It's a term for the genre of music.
Isn't it dad rock?
No, it's butt rock.
No, it's divorced
It
dad
is-
rock.
Yeah, also that.
B-U-T-T butt?
Yes.
What is that?
You've never heard this phrase? This is
I
your
haven't.
style of music.
Yeah, you're
Butt
Mr.
rock is
Shinedown.
used to-
I am. I love Shinedown. Missing their concert at Fiserv this year, though.
Oh, no, that's too bad.
I got a wedding. You should go, Josh. A great show.
I'd rather remove my fingernails with a pliers.
Why
than
is
go to
that your...
show.
That is like the 7th time you've dropped that exact line on
Nickelback,
this
Creed,
show.
3 Days Grace, Breaking Benjamin, Puddle of Mud, Limp Bizkit, Stained, Shinedown, Seether, Five Finger Death Punch.
You know what's kind of sad?
Bands that are considered to be mainstream, commercially accessibly hard rock with a somewhat generic sound.
You know what's kind of sad about this? I had an at-length conversation with 2 of my best friends about Puddle of Mud today. Like, I can pull it up right now. That might still be
Great.
happening. To be honest with you.
Great.
I'd
We're
rather
gonna move
talk the
on.
Pythagorean theorem.
We're going to move on. We've got 7 more of these to go. ESPN announced.
Okay, yep, go ahead.
Nope.
Yep, go ahead.
ESPN announced that Joe Buck, Joe Giardi, and Bill Schroeder will be on the call for Yankees Brewers opening day.
There's one word here that you can only use.
Yeah, it's rock. Yeah, it's rock. Rock on the ESPN call is awesome. I saw this last night. Cool for Bill. Look, I don't get the Joe Buck hate. I just never have. I've never understood it. He's terrific at baseball. He's a really good play-by-play guy. I don't understand Joe Buck hate. This is awesome. I love this. So rock is the word.
It's because for half of the people who've listened to Joe Buck, he is the voice as your team's losing some of the biggest games you've ever seen them in.
Yep.
Sure.
Therefore, he just gets associated with it.
So it's just a psychology thing.
I think so.
Okay, I hear you. I hear you.
'Cause, yes, he is amongst the best to ever do it.
The Wisconsin Badgers beat Illinois, and for the first time since 1995, have had back-to-back 90-point-plus games.
Yeah, the word is first. Or firsts, plural. This Wisconsin team is providing so many firsts. They're unbelievable at the three-point shooting. I mean, they're the best they've ever been in program history. Maybe not from a percentage standpoint, but like from a amount they're taking to the amount they're making standpoint, they're the best they've ever been. John Tonje's doing new things that nobody's ever done every game, it seems. Hunter mentioned that. I mean, back-to-back 90-point games for the first time in 50-plus years. But I tweeted this last night. I hope people understand the reinvention project the Badgers have gone on. 95 on Saturday, 94 last night. Back-to-back 94-plus point games. They scored over 94 points once last year, and that was in the season opener against Arkansas State when they scored 105. This team is entirely different than they were a year ago. Now, that's a little bit more common in this day and age of college athletics, but this is so impressive what the Badgers have been able to do over the course of this season. We talked about it a ton on Monday. I'm so impressed with the Badgers. Really fun team to watch. Nice win over a good Illinois team last night.
Wagon.
Wagon, indeed.
Team's a wagon.
Arkansas State, by the way, future home to Chris Davis Jr. of Sun Prairie East, leads the state in scoring at the high school level.
Did not know that's where he committed. Very nice.
Yes.
Formerly of Sun Prairie West.
Yes. Sticking in college basketball, Marquette shot 40% from 3 last night in an 80-56 win over Seton Hall. That's the first time they've done that since November 27th against Stonehill.
Why are you cheesing?
Cute.
Oh, he's such a Badgers guy. Oh, my goodness. Cute, he says. Yeah, I'm going to do my best Chris Berman impression, and that's back. Marquette's back. And look, beating Seton Hall is no tough task, right? They're not very good.
Seton Hall beat UConn.
In fact, they're bad. They did beat UConn, but they're very bad otherwise.
Is it 8 wins?
8 or 9, yeah. 8 or 9. Single
300%
digits.
Dougie Gottlieb.
Yeah.
That's what we call 8.
That's a solid program. Nobody wants to play them in March.
You're right. I mean, beating UConn is impressive, but no, I mean, they're not very good. But Marquette's been in a funk. They're getting out of the funk. They're still going to be, Josh used the term wagon before, they're still going to be really good come March. They've got the pieces. As we talked about on Monday, they have the same issue as the Badgers. When you play a dominant big, you might lose. But hoping they don't run into them, I think both these teams are second weekend teams. So they're back, I think.
Number 4, Alabama at number 15, Missouri tonight. Mizzou, 1.5-point home favorites.
Professor is my word. For Professor Big Daddy J.A. John Anderson, formerly of Sports Center and Wipeout.
That's all you got?
So I have not watched a Mizzou game this year, so I really don't have a take here. So Professor is my word. Shout out to John Anderson, the only person I personally know that went to Missouri.
Could have gone upset alert. Okay. The NBA is back. Hornets at Lakers tonight.
Williams. This is the Mark Williams game. The trade that was vetoed, or not really vetoed, rescinded due to a failed physical. I'm not. Is this on national television? I didn't even know the NBA was back tonight. I thought the NBA was back tomorrow.
This was.
Oh, is this a makeup game?
Yeah, this is a makeup game because of the fires in LA. They canceled this game and or postponed it tonight.
Is there a more irrelevant franchise than the Hornets?
We had this conversation in the office about random sports cities. And we went with Sacramento, or that was Jesse Nelson's, and I think he's kind of right. Sacramento's the most random sports city. Charlotte, at least,
Charlotte's not a random city. I guess that's different than what Josh is asking, though.
I know, but it's kind of in the same
asking, vein. Here on Mr. Relevant, we're discussing irrelevant franchises. I mean, the most irrelevant profession of the Big Four. Club? Yeah. I was thinking,
but they're coming up with the name. People are talking about them. San Jose.
Sharks, yeah. Miami Marlins? Not really a baseball city.
Pretty bad.
I mean, Miami has a history of baseball. It's just now the city has not become a baseball city.
The NFL is just way too popular for it to be an NFL team.
Right. Well, I mean, if you were to tell me the Hornets didn't exist anymore, I could be convinced of that case. On a random day, I'd be like, yeah, they probably became something else, and I just don't know.
It's so strange that they moved to New Orleans. The New Orleans were the Hornets. Then the Charlotte Bobcats began, and then the Hornets dropped their name, rebranded to the Pelicans, and then the Charlotte took it back. People really forget about that.
All right. Back to college basketball. Big games this Saturday.
Bobcats.
Number 6, Tennessee at number 7, Texas A&M.
Oh. I mean, I can't say sexy. Is that a banned word, Will? I can't say sexy, right?
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow, Josh. He's throwing a fit now.
Hell?
That had been banned for months.
Turn his mic off.
He's been pretty unique thus far, so I think we can give him one gimme word.
Thanks, Will.
Wait, what was the last one he used before that?
Don't worry about it. I used okay today.
Yeah, I mean,
finally,
we got some talking to do.
The last one here, number 8, Iowa State, and number 5, Houston on Saturday.
Natty. I think this is a national championship game preview. If Auburn and Alabama don't make it to the national championship game, I think these are the next two favorites. Houston and Iowa State. My word is natty. I think this is a national championship game preview. I'm glad you brought this one up. This is my favorite game on the slate this weekend.
The disrespect for Duke is unbelievable.
Yeah, but I still think their youth is going to get in the way in terms of the tournament. And maybe I'll be wrong, right? Like, I love Con Knipple, obviously the local kid. Cooper Flagg's unbelievable, and I'm enjoying his only year in college basketball. But their big had the wrist injury the other day. We don't know the severity of that, I don't think, yet. We'll see on Duke. I think these are two of the best programs in all of college basketball. I'm really intrigued by this game. There you go. That was your last one?
It was.
All right, good run, boys. That was good. Okay and sexy both being used. God,
and somehow you were original today. I don't know if Will knows the meaning of that word.
Will, have you been listening? Or are you just guessing?
I've been listening.
Okay.
No, you haven't.
I
don't lie.
That was rather unconvincing.
He just stopped talking.
Yeah.
Hey, Joshy killed him.
Cut him off at the knees.
Unbelievable. All right, time for what we learned. Who's got one? Wow.
The silence is deafening.
I could give one.
Oh, Will!
I got one.
Will for the save.
Nice.
Go ahead, Will.
I learned that you can blame your fans when you blow a 17-point lead at home. Mick Cronin, UCLA, said this after they lost to Minnesota on the heels of his 500th career win.
And a quote.
All we're worried about is our shooting. Our crowd's mind is on the wrong stuff. They make it worse. The stress in Paulie is crazy. How about help the guy? Cheer for the guy.
Mick Cronin.
What do we think about that?
That guy's a dork. I mean, I love characters, right? Like Kim Mulkey's great for women's basketball. Dan Hurley, love him or hate him, great for basketball. Mick Cronin, most hate him. I'm going to say it. Great for basketball.
Doug Gottlieb.
Doug Gottlieb. Well, he's good for Green Bay. I'll say that. He's good for Green Bay. Green Bay's been talked about way more than they did when Tony Bennett played there, when Kiefer Sykes and Alec Brown and Alfonso McKinney were there. Doug Gottlieb's good for Green Bay. Mick Cronin is good for basketball, college basketball. He's good for the sport. He's a cartoon character. He complains about everything. He's hated by coaches and players alike and fans. He's good.
I got one for you.
Hit me.
The adult actress who slept with 1,057
I
men
saw this.
in one single day is shockingly reporting to be pregnant.
Shockingly indeed. Now, how do you figure out who the father is? Legitimately.
Well, hopefully you kept good records of the people who visited.
Now,
1,057.
Now, that was too long ago, I would guess. I don't know if she's in a relationship. I can't say I know who she is, right? Like, I don't know anything about her other than this one story that was very big on the internet.
What do you mean too long ago? Are you
this happened
with how conception
But this happened a couple months ago, didn't it?
No, I believe it was like a month ago.
Oh, okay. Well, she didn't use protection?
Gotta be honest, I'm not aware. I haven't watched. You would figure there would be multiple steps.
How do you handle this? I mean, even if it's 157, how do you handle this? Actually, scratch that. If it's 15, how do you handle this?
Good question.
1,050.
I'm sure this isn't the last we've heard of the story.
Somebody's going to step up and go, it's mine. And then somebody else is going to go, it's mine.
This has got reality show written all over it.
Ooh, Netflix has to capitalize. That's a great point by you. We should capitalize. Let's produce a special.
No.
There'd be a lot of clicks.
Great. Not good for the brand.
Hunter,
I'm just
How
saying.
are you at blurring things?
That'll do it for us today. We're back with you Friday beginning at 12:30 Central, ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Madison on YouTube. You can find us wherever you get your podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Wisconsin On Demand. Subscribe, rate, whatever you got to do. Who's the dad? I don't think we're ever going to know. That's sad. It's like Elf if he never found his father. Hope you find your dad. Oh, that's sad. All right, we're back with you Friday. What a time bomb by Joshy. Hey, Will, got any quotes to send us out?
I'm all out of quotes for today.
You are not the father.
Peace.